Alright, so lesson 5, the second half in unit 8. We're basically going to do a little bit more with completing the square. We got the method of completing the square. Obviously, the vertex form we want to get it into eventually here and find a turning point. But we're going to concentrate on now, let's throw a negative out in front. So, here we go. Same as we talked about before, right? To replace the y, we're trying to find the 0. So just put a 0 in there for it instead. Same thing, move your c to the other side, so minus a 7. And you basically get this, negative 2x squared plus 4x equals then negative 7. Okay, I'm just reversing the order, putting this side on the right side. That's all we're doing. All right, so then we don't want a negative 2x squared. We just want an x squared. That's our goal. So we're going to pull a negative 2 out in front. When I do that, I take it out of here, divided by negative 2, and I take it out of here, divided by negative 2, because on the side. So I've got an x squared left, and that's going to be a minus 2x inside. Leave a little space, equals, and I'm not touching the right side. Okay, the rule, of course, we said is take your b, divide it by 2, then turn around and square it. Okay, well, here's my b. It's a negative 2. If I cut that in half, I get negative 1. And if I square it, I then get 1. So basically I took a negative 2, cut it in half. So that was equal to a negative 1. And now we're going to square it, which is 1. So I would normally say, hey, add 1 to this side, add 1 to the other side. Problem is, once again, we talked about yesterday, the 1 is inside parentheses. So you can't just add 1 over on the right side here. The 1 has a little thing out in front called a negative 2 times it. So in this case, it's negative 2 times that 1, which means I'm subtracting 2 actually on the other side to keep it balanced. Now, once again, my method is I like to write that when I took half of the b here and got a negative 1, I put it down below here. I don't want to stop and think about how to factor this. If you want to, no problem. We just do the AC method with the X box. You're all good. I basically, though, have a negative 2 out in front, and I just slap an x with that on the minus 1 square, because that's all that really is. This thing factors into an x minus 1 times an x minus 1. So I've got that with the negative 2 out in front. Equals then, negative 7 and negative 2 make negative 9. And that's completing the square. Now, in this case, they want to know what do you have as far as vertex form. So I have to bring the 9 back over. I have to add 9 to both sides. So vertex form officially looks like this. Negative 2 times x minus 1 squared plus a 9 equals 0. So therefore my center, my vertex, will be the pieces inside here. So I want the opposite of a negative 1, so that's positive 1. And the y part is the 9 that's on the outside. Remember, we take the opposite of the piece inside the parentheses. And they ask, is it a max or a min? Well, folks, if we go back here and we take a look at it, the x squared term was negative, so there means it's upside down, so it's an upside down v, or upside down u, I mean. So therefore, it's at the top of the hill. That's a max in this problem. So there's your 2 answers. Let's go practice one more, and we'll move on. All right, so same process here. Replace the y here with a 0. Bring the c over, so I would add 33. And I'm going to rewrite the problem. Negative x squared minus 12x equals a negative 33. We do not want the negative out in front, so that's really, remember, that's really a negative 1. So I'm going to pull that out of each. So we're going to really divide both these terms by a negative 1. So I'm left with an x squared, and then it's going to be plus 12x. Leave a little space, equals negative 33 on the other side. All right, what is half of, once again, b divided by 2, and then you're going to square it. Half of 12 is 6. I like to write it down below right away. Then I'm going to square that 6. That means I add 36. Then I got to add 36 on the other side, but wait, it's in parentheses. I got a negative sign, so what's negative 1 times 36? It's actually minus 36, and I just caught myself in an error. When I brought that 33 over before, folks, that should have been a plus. Easy enough to fix. So, clean up the right-hand side, you get a negative 3 now that I fixed my error. On the left-hand side, I got a negative 1 out in front. I put an x with that, and I square it. Once again, that's just this trinomial if I factored it using the AC method off to the side. And I got that. If you want the vertex form, bring the 3 back over. And -1 times x plus 6 squared plus a 3 equals nothing. That's called, once again, vertex form. So if I want the vertex, I take the opposite of the inside, so that would be a -6. And I take the y part, how much I'm shifting up and down on the outside, which is a 3. And of course, we started off once again way back here at the top. It's a negative, so it's upside down, so it is a max. Alright, we'll see you in class tomorrow. We're going to practice these along with the ones that are right side up, and along with the easy ones where a is equal to 1. Shuffle and game, and we're closing in on this chapter. Have a good night.